Hello, Fun Army, welcome back to Life Another Saga Skills. Today you find me on my mission, or rather, like, the first part of my mission, to spend a bit more time at the London cons this year. I want to be doing a bit of research, really getting involved, because I have been to London Film and Comic Con before, but I sort of kind of dipped in and out. I found it all a bit overwhelming at the time, but I'm working on a new strategy to deal with the overwhelm and just kind of get involved without finding it a bit too much. So yeah, I have booked weekend tickets for both of the winter cons this year. So today's is MCM Comic Con. I've got a number of panels that I'm planning to attend today. And then when I get there first thing this morning, I'm just gonna like wander around, get the lay of the land and see what else is going down. So yes, come and join me on this exciting little mission and we'll see how we get on.
They put me miles away from you, so I think I must smell or something.
Big yellow duck. So, what did we think? Well, as you might be able to tell, I'm quite tired. It was pretty intense. Like, in a good way, but also in a bad way. So I would say the morning was better than sort of like, I guess, lunchtime onwards. Managed to get to a few panels, which was great because that was obviously the plan. I did end up like having to wait half an hour to get a cup of tea at Costa, which wasn't great. Yeah, there were all kind of issues with just being able to pay not in cash, which in this day and age is a bit stupid. But generally the atmosphere in the morning was really nice. There was some really cool cosplay going on. Interestingly though, not as much as I thought there was going to be. Like, there was quite a lot of sort of, I guess what I'd call casual cosplay, which is great because that's also something I want to, or rather I'm going to, I guess, partake in to help upskill me. So it was nice to kind of see that. But yeah, Laurie actually said she thought most of the hardcore cosplayers were outside because, yeah, trying to bring your really expensive, really, hard-made, skilled hardcore cosplay inside to the craziness isn't all that, user-friendly. So they were doing quite a lot of photo shoots and stuff outside, it seemed. So yes, I'm sure I was missing out on some of the best cosplay. But it was great to see what there was and just everyone kind of having a good time and like nerding out, really. Some of the panels were good. The live stage wasn't great because it was out in the open, which, you know, fair enough. Some of these talk areas often are just kind of out in the open, but they had like two speakers, as in electronic speakers, but they were like literally right by the stage, so we could barely hear a thing. I kind of caught like 75% of what was being said. I mean, it was John Rhys-Davies, so obviously he can project when he wants to. But yeah, when you've got a microphone in your hand, you really shouldn't have to. So I mean, the talk was good, but yeah, the setup wasn't entirely great. The main stage was brilliant. Like, I think this was the thing for me. Like, there was some really great stuff going on. Parts of it were really, really well organised. Other parts of it, it seemed like they'd never done a convention before, which is weird. But yeah, like the main stage setup was super slick. So I really I don't quite understand the inconsistencies between the different areas and the setup, because we also we hit up one of the things that the reasons why we were all there together was a couple of actors from the BBC show Ghosts were talking about their new project. So we're really keen to go and see that panel, and that was on a different stage again. So it was an enclosed stage, but either something had gone wrong or, again, like something was up with the setup, because they had a screen above the stage where they sort of had the name of the panel and stuff. And then the panel sat at, you know, like eye level, which, you know, is eye level to the people in the front row, but none of the rest of us could see the panel. Because, yeah, if they did at any point have a camera pointed at them designed to be playing on the screen above, it was not in evidence while we were there. So, yeah, it was just a bit of a letdown. I mean, they did show like a half an hour clip of the new show, which was great. But we were mainly there to hear them talk, so... But yeah, so, I mean, the main thing was I had not been to this one before. I really wanted to go and see what it was all about. And I think, you know, if there are people there that you want to see, it is worth it. I'm not sure I could manage doing the one that happens... See, I thought it was in the summer. Apparently it's only in May, but, you know, May can get quite hot. So, yeah, I don't know. Because, like, the aircon in the main stage bit, this epitome of awesomeness that was the main stage... the aircon in there was great, but everywhere else it just doesn't touch you because it was so busy. Like, by the time I'd done 2 panels, it was sort of, must have been about 1:20 or something, and by that point it was just utter carnage. I was like, I just need to go to the bathroom, and just even trying to get to the bathroom, the signage wasn't good, people using the system wasn't good, things were getting really kind of trashed at that point. And, you know, this is no disrespect to any of the staff who were working, but, like, you know, this is an exhibition venue. They have events there all the time, but it's down to the particular organisation that's using the venue as to, like, which levels of support they sign up to from the venue's offering. And it was quite clear that they probably hadn't signed up to everything they needed to. Like, the people running this convention cut a few corners for whatever reason, and it was obvious that they had done so. So, you know, we stayed there most of the day. There were a couple of other panels I wanted to see, like some cosplay particular panels, but it was just so busy at that point. And again, it was an out in the open stage right by sort of the corridor where everyone was walking past, and I just wasn't confident I was actually going to hear what was being said. And I was like, I actually really want to learn about what's being said at these panels, and I just wasn't confident I was going to hear it. So we actually just ended up going off for dinner instead, which was nice. But yeah, so I guess now the test is, you know, what the next one is like, because I've been to London Film and Comic Con before, but it was in the old Olympia setup. So the new Olympia setup is a lot more like Excel. So this is either going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I always remember it just being really sweaty because I went to the bigger ones in July, whereas this is the winter one. It will be towards the end of November. So hopefully the temperature will have actually come down, because it was still like 22 degrees today, which is stupid. So yeah, we shall see. There are definitely a lot more people that I want to see at London Film and Comic Con, but they equally haven't released any information about any of the panels or anything else that's going on yet. So I don't know. I think the number of sort of half decent panels on the list for MCM was good. And, you know, they were sticking to time and everything, so that was brilliant. Like, that was really good. I would have liked to see a bit more variety in terms of sort of the bigger guests they had there. They certainly have a much, I guess, higher profile guest list for their spring, summer, whatever we're calling it, one. And it did kind of feel like this was the poor cousin, but, you know, there were some good people there. So yes, let's see what LFCC brings us. But yes, I'm a bit miscellaneous as to whether I would do this again unless there was something specific I wanted to go and see or do or whatever. But yeah, TBD. So yeah, join me in a few weeks. Well, it won't be a few weeks to you, it'll be a few seconds. And we'll see how LFCC goes. And so here we are, a few weeks later, ready for Comic Con number 2. So this is London Film and Comic Con Winter. This is at Olympia, which is in West London, which is my side of town, thank God. So it's not going to take that long to get there or back, crucially. It is obviously smaller than the summer event. It is also smaller than the MCM event I went to a few weeks ago. So I'm interested to sort of see how it compares in terms of busyness, in terms of what's on offer. There are some good guests, there's a good group of guests, but the panels, the list of the panels, there don't seem to be as many. Some of them you have to pay for, some of them are free. And annoyingly, some of them kind of cross over with just like the 2 photo sessions I wanted to go to. So yeah, I'll kind of see what happens when I get there and how it makes me feel. But yes, we shall see. We shall see. There's lots of people from House of the Dragon there, lots of Doctor Who's there. But yes, come with me. Let's see what it looks like, and I will also check in again later. Okay, so I'm back. It was an interesting day. It was actually not stupidly busy, so that was a definite positive. For some of the things that had been organised, the queuing system worked really well. Unfortunately, for some of the busier things, there just weren't really enough staff around to actually sort of get the queue happening. So then they had to effectively take a pile of people not listening and then try and organise them into a queue, which, let's just say, did not work very well and was pretty painful for everyone involved. I think it was nice to like have the option to do one in winter because the temperature was great. I didn't feel overheated at any point. It was a bit of a mare to get into, to be honest, simply because they seem to be disassembling and reassembling half the building, which is obviously not the showrunner's fault. But yeah, it just meant that like actually trying to get into the entrance took at least 10-15 minutes longer than it should have done. Fortunately, though, by the time I got there wasn't really a queue, so that was all right. But yeah, I would say probably the biggest downside of it being a smaller event is that if you're not going to one of like the 3 or 4 main talks of the day, and there's not like a particular stand you want to go and spend time at, there's not really huge amounts to keep people occupied in between photo sessions, autograph sessions, and the main talks. So there's just a lot of, you know, general sitting around in space where there is nowhere to sit. So people were just sitting on the floor, like all over the place, which, you know, it's fine. I'm not, you know, you sit on the floor when you need to sit on the floor, but I don't know, it just sort of felt a little bit less dynamic than it could have done. Like, it was nice. It was also simultaneously exhausting. I don't know if it was just the process of the whole thing. I mean, I was trying to figure out how many years it's been since I've been to London Film and Comic Con, and it was the summer one I'd gone to when I went last anyway. I mean, it must be like 7 or 8 years, I suppose. So certainly some time. Like, it was at the old Olympia before they redid it. So yeah, it just felt different. Like, the atmosphere was different. So I don't know. I think, to be honest, these events now, unless things change, they are just so busy. So again, you know, like, I was actually, when I was sat on the floor at one of those moments in between things, I was just kind of sitting there, people watching and looking to see what kind of cosplay was coming through. And there were some really good ones, but again, it just seemed a bit minimal. And I wonder, again, whether all the cosplayers were elsewhere or whether they were waiting for the ball in the evening or... Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I kind of feel like going forward, these events, certainly in the UK, are perhaps only worth investing in if there are people that you really want to see, either photo or autograph-wise or doing a talk. Otherwise, not really sure it's worth it, but... definitely glad to have done it. Now I know. I've done my research. I think if I was going to do one again, I would do LFCC. Not really a big fan of MCM. It was just way too carnagey for my liking. So, yeah. So yeah, anyway, as I say, the main thing is that I now know. I really just kind of wanted to go and check them out and see what the vibe was like. It's perhaps not like my day-to-day vibe. I will find my appropriate nerdy gatherings elsewhere, maybe. So, yes. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch. If you went to any of the cons this year, maybe drop in and let me know your opinion. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I would really like to hear other people's input if they did go. Yeah, otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.